Nothing. This is recording, okay? I'm going to ring this lady from the newspaper. She contacted me.
What for?
About the lotto story. She wants to do a story on it.
Oh, she wants a story.
Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky. So everybody tried to help you. Very good.
So
Very good.
I might need to use your...
Carry on with your word.
No. No, I need to use your phone, but because this one's...
You're on my phone.
I need to write her phone number on. I need to use your phone.
Yeah, with the phone.
Because it's not charged, this one, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll ring her from your phone. So that's my dad's number.
I don't care, you do it.
0415 559 597. Right. Oh, no, that's the wrong. Excuse me. Okay, here we go, Dad. You call me. She doesn't know who I am, but she won't know this phone number.
No worries. Just whoever you want to ring.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Vanda. It's just Kate or Kathy, read the lotto. My phone's just charging, so I'll try and use it. This is my dad's number. I'm just with my dad at the moment. So, yeah, basically I picked and purchased a lotto ticket and found out within a week that it had won, and I've been fighting ever since to try and prove it, and I haven't been able to because I couldn't afford a solicitor. I've been trying to do it on my own, but I have had some help along the way. Thank you. I'll try you on the iPhone. She's ringing back.
Huh?
She's ringing back. Hello, Vanda. Oh no, that's okay. It's okay. This is definitely my dad's phone. I'm with him at the moment, but I'm staying in New South Wales at the moment. You know, I'm a bit stuck because of COVID, and the thing is that I did file against the lotto in the Supreme Court, but that case is going to be heard on the 3rd of February. I don't even know if I can make it there, but I will tell you, for me, it was more the journey and that nobody listened to me along the way. I mean, in the golden casket. And you know, I saw so many things like when I actually got my witnesses, I won't talk too much because I'm wanting, But when I got my witnesses, which I purely remembered them by sight and got them, I didn't make them up or anything. They were credible and had credit card statements and lotto and the rest of the company. For us to get an answer out of them, like, did you contact my witnesses? It was about a month of us asking a yes or no question, did you contact the witnesses? And finally, because my son was under investigation too, and with his investigation, the Justice Department actually told us they're not there to help us prove the win. They're not really there to make sure Lotto handled it properly. So unless you push and push and push, you don't even get an answer from anybody. So basically, they had never even contacted my witnesses. So I got so shitty. It's at the end of the tether now. And I just thought, right, I'm just going to file in the court. I know that I can't afford a solicitor, but I'm going to see if I can get the thing called the secret, which is they're asking me for the time they can like a ticket. So I want them to show me what they have. I mean, they may not pay it anyway. And I did make a mistake in the filing because I called them a lot, and they're not called a lot. They weren't talking to me at all, Lotto, and they're giving me such a hard time. And finally, they wrote back to me in an email and said, the lot is not a legal entity; it's an umbrella term under Tab Corp, and you have to reword it to Golden Casket. So I've done that, but what I've had to do, because I'm in New South Wales, they didn't say consent, but I've had to get 3 copies and even one copy from the library because it had to be something read. It cost $2 a page for me. So this has been going on, for 6 years, this sort of thing. And I finally sent that stuff off yesterday to the Supreme Court Registry, and they have to file it and then give me back a couple of copies, one for me, one for Golden Casket. And yeah. So really, you're telling me you're from me. I don't know whether you're even someone that works for Golden Casket. No. Okay. Oh, Samuel Clemens. Yep. I know someone that worked with him, and to be quite honest, I had this something like that. So, Robert, I think Samuel Clemens was a writer in the 1800s. Yeah. This came up the other day. Look, I've had forensic accountants, and look, I honestly, there's still such a journey with this. I had one solicitor actually, that's been on telly quite a bit. I met him through a guy that worked in TV, and he said he was going to help me just for fun. But when he saw how much paperwork I had and COVID, was happening, he said he did, because he said he would do it for free, basically, because I couldn't afford it. But he said you have to pay for filing. So, and then I had another solicitor in Cairns, and ironically, it ended up being, when I looked in the hands, they've got this, like business book, I realised that they were the same solicitors that our family had bought a place off. They were conveyancers. And I had a forensic accountant along the way. He actually helped me really a lot because he drafted letters to the banks of my witnesses, and he drafted letters to Lotto. Okay. I'll just quickly tell you about that day. Oh, sorry. Oh, really? I'm actually on the northern beaches, but I'm in Manly. I'm in Manly. So I'm in the lower part, so we're not in lockdown. Look, that's okay. Look, I'm not after the celebrity, but really, it's all very surreal, and it still makes me tear up. But it's more that there's a lot of people that treated me like crap along the way. So for what it is. I know that, you know, basically, Golden Cast, it's just a big corporation. And, you know, if they don't have to pay out, this is what I gathered, they won't. But in the last, well, that's right. But, yeah, but you know what? And this is the thing. I had a bit of a hoarding problem. And although I believe I lost the ticket, there was still a minute chance that I have it somewhere that the statute ends. And, you know, it's just been a lot of time and energy for me listening to, you know, I put things on hold. Like, you know, this year I was going to go back because I got my ed degree, even though I'm a tall lady. I didn't have the teaching and I was going to go back and do that this year. I didn't have the energy to do that all. But, yeah, so I'll quickly tell you what happened that day. So, okay, what happened was the actual post office last year, sorry, it was a newsagent, but the lady in the post office that she's known me for years, she remembered me that day. Oh, it's opposite, you know, like it's about, I don't know, 150 yards away from the actual place. The shopping centre is called, not, yeah, well, I did, yeah, but what I remember more is, okay, I lived in Cairns and my son lived in Cairns, and in 2013 we had a very bad accident. So our family had purchased the property in Cairns, but basically we left it, which was on my birthday. The property went through on my birthday, and the very next day we left Cairns because my son just wanted to get away. We went back to the family, which is, you know, Northern Beaches, Sydney, not a bad place. So, but because my son was going through work cover, and he had to, and when you go through work cover in Cairns, you always have to see medical and legal people in Brisbane. That's just how it is. So on the 7th of January, he was booked in for a procedure, which was, he had a diving accident, so he ulcerated his esophagus. It was at the hand of his boss, his boss got bruised. And lots of tragedy, like his friend, the skipper, supposedly suicided. Another friend of his, which is why we went into the newsagent. Sorry, I am looking at you all in. Why we went to the newsagent that day and why we came back to Cairns, like 2013, end of October, my son had an accident. He was in hospital for a couple of weeks. So when the property that was being purchased went through, we came back to Sydney the very next day. So we hadn't really moved into this property. And because my son had to do all these procedures, he was 20, I came back with him. And so on the 7th of January, these things were printed in my mind, is that we went back because he had a procedure to have him in the hospital, which was at the end to Cairns, right? That's why we came back to Cairns. And then on the 14th of January, we had to go to Brisbane to see the work cover doctor. And then on the 21st of January, we came back to Cairns, and it was the 22nd of January that we were sort of getting the internet put on and stuff like that. And we were moving stuff out of our garage to, move into the house, basically, or the unit. So, and on that day, we have things that not so much from the store, but my son had a doctor appointment where they were doing like psychological tests so he could see a psychologist. So we have records of him being a doctor at a shopping centre just about a K down the road, which is Cairns Central. And I have a receipt, which I produced to the Justice Department. I was surprised that I still had a receipt from Target and Hungry Jack's that day. Oh, on the 22nd of January, yes. So mainly the problem was I don't have a receipt as such because I was paying cash for a lot of things. So yes, we went to the museum, we went to the post office, we went to the museum, and I remember that day, and my mum said, asked my mum, she was a virus patient for 30 years. She was pretty ill. So I was toying with being with my son and, wanting to be with my mum because, like I was close to my mum. And it was my parents' 50th, I think, wedding anniversary. And I don't know, it was 50 odd, it might have been 52nd, but we just left my family and I was with my son doing all his medical stuff and moving into this house. And I also found out that day that our family pet dog had been put down. So so for some reason I don't normally recall when I buy tickets. Sometimes I buy them online, but for this particular day, I remembered we went to the DFO, which is Direct Factory Outlet Shopping Centre, and we went into the newsagent there, which shut down last year, or you checked, right? But they are operating as a TSG. It's smaller, but they're still operating as a News Extra DFO. Yeah, yeah, and um, like when I picked this ticket, and this is one detail, but maybe it's too much information, but I had a thing with numbers. I can remember numbers like from 30 years ago. Like I rang my first boyfriend, which was like 30 years ago, that I lived with by mistake because I remembered his home phone number, like there's no really mobiles then, and I thought I was ringing my cousin in the same area. So I have a thing with numbers. So um, also, what I remember on the Monday, I remember purchasing a ticket where I actually used the numbers 41, 43, and 45. So, okay, this is, I'm coming to how I didn't, I went between these numbers. Okay, so on the day, so I'm in the DFO with my son. What brought us to the DFO was we were trying to get modem for the internet, and there was a big speed with 6 months. So we run around from his doctor's appointment, and we usually stop at the like 7 shops, like that for me. And we'd gone to another shop, but we couldn't get like the right wiring. So in the end, in the afternoon, we ended up at DFO, which is sort of a loose and worthy thing. And there was the post office, and then like I think I actually spoke to my family on the phone because it was their anniversary, and because we've been running around all day, I can't speak to them. Found out that our family dog had been put down, which made me really emotional because whenever I came to visit, I was the one that was bothering to walk into the beach because they had arthritis, and and they're part of the family, and we had some people moving next door that was really greedy and taking part of our pathway. And my sister said to him, like, I'll keep the dog over here and I'll let it go here, I hope you do. So, my sister decided to stay and put the dog down because it was, it was elderly and all this. So, anyway, because I was far away, mum was sick and the dog got put down, I was highly emotional. And with my son, he had a friend in a skateboard magazine, which was Slam or one of those magazines. Oh, he is in the magazine. Yeah, he was a picture of his friend in the magazine. And incidentally, that boy, about a year after that, that in that magazine, he was one of 3 boys that died coming home from the best boy. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, his name was Luke Shanahan. And actually my nephew's in a band and he's just come back from New York and my sister said, how did you grow? And he said, I had the best one of my life. And about three days later he was gone. Yeah. So it was all around. And anyway, I try and connect to them. I'll try and get down to the ticket. Okay. So my son had to go to that shop because that particular, and I know there's maybe skateboarding magazine, they're like $12 and they have colours and pictures and advertising. So the reason we went to DFO that magazine, and I was trying to make my son happy because, you know, he had groups and he had PTSDs and then go driving anymore and stuff like that. So, because that was like his dream career and that was finished. And with Crown of Thorns, he was getting rid of the Crown of Thorns. And he was part of the team and he was pretty well revered. Him and another girl were always getting awards for it. You know, he was really, you know, the young man from 18 to 20, he was for 2 weeks at a time diving and coming back for 2 days. You know, lived on board and it was pretty much a dream job for him. Not everyone could handle it, but he loved it. So, and he was conceived in Cairns, born in New South Wales, but, you know, he went to school in Cairns and he went to school in New South Wales, so he had friends in New South Wales, which is Luke. And Luke was the one when he was in hospital that was, you know, ringing him up and, you know who your friends are when you're sick, kind of thing. So, and that was the boy that passed away. So anyway, and I hope what I'm saying is all correct. This is just from my memory. Oh, okay. Well, we're standing to. Oh, the post office is another shop, and Billy, the lady, the Canadian lady, she knows me because I'm a bit of a hoarder. So when I go from Cairns to Sydney, I can't carry everything, and because I can't organise myself, I send stuff down and back. And one time, for example, why she remembered me because me and the boyfriend had come to with a shopping trolley. They said bring a shopping trolley to pick up some things I'd sent from Sydney. One of the things was a TV, you know, and I needed a shopping trolley. So, you know, basically she's the person that knows everyone that comes through the post office. And she did give me an affidavit, but it wasn't a signed by JP one. So oh yeah, I look, of course, and you know, it's all just time and energy. I don't know whether the magistrate's going to look at my case and just go, right, because I've been told if you don't word things properly, they just throw it out of court. Or apparently they gave me a very sympathetic judge. So, look, all I was asking, and sorry, I'm going back from the picking numbers, I'll try and do quick. But all I was asking from the, you know, golden casket was because they've asked me for time back and time the ticket, and they've given me a hard time over it. Like, if you don't get, you know, one variable right, but if you get two variables right, this is what I think, what I believe, and you get one variable wrong, basically it's in the wrong basket. You know, they don't want to deal with it. Oh, I know, I can tell you 100% the date of the purchase of my ticket was the 22nd of January 2014. I can tell. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I do that for a reason because I believe, you know, one of these people that think even the walls can be weighted, even though they're probably checked. But I just think, you know, like I've studied database. So look, if you put things in later, you're less likely to be known in the system. You know, they won't calculate, you know, what that's what I normally do. Yes, that's what I normally do. Yeah, and I'll do it as late as possible. But I didn't go there to buy a ticket this day. I went there to get a magazine, you know, for my son to get the magazine. But the thing was, they didn't have the magazine, and they had stopped it only in 2 shops in Cairns. And so basically, the magazine must have sold out, or they didn't have it. So I saw, oh, there's a double dividend today. Well, now it's 20, 30 million. It was only 2 million, you know, the double dividend. But for Wednesday, it's probably pretty good. So I thought I'll buy a ticket. And I actually only had $3, and the ticket was only $2.40. But what happened was, okay, I, I went over the line. I think I did because I went over the line, and this is where I'm not completely fixed. I was really busy this day, but for some reason, I remember this tall lady in sports gear and this really bubbly lady in sports gear, both with their hair tied back, and one of them purchased before me at the same register, and one of them purchased after me. So it was almost within a couple of within it, it's almost like a couple of seconds, but it was probably within a minute. We all purchased at the same time. And I found those two women. How would you be? Like, and just because I had a hunch, yes, they had on their credit card to purchase $13.85. One of them, the other one, actually, no, the other one didn't have that much info, but I know it was her, and she did help me. They did go to their banks and get statements. They did allow me to, the forensic accountant wrote to Lotto, because they both had playing cards, but they didn't use them all the time. And yeah, and when I went to choose the numbers, I remembered on the Monday, I said I'm into numbers. I remember I went 41, 43, 45. So this particular day, I've gone to the counter. My son's looking for his magazine. I've been at double dividend. I'm going to buy a lotto. I only had $3. I went 22 because it was my parents' anniversary, and I was, pretty, shaken because I really wanted to be with my family. And although my son's my family, but because we lost one anyway 2 years ago. So this is my parents' anniversary, yes. And I think we even put it. That's 22 is the date of their 50th anniversary. It was that day. Yeah, 27. Okay. So this is of January. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why, because we just come back from Sydney and my mum was in the hospital a lot. Yeah. And she's such a beautiful woman. I'm not just not speech. She was very well loved by a lot of people. So, I really, for example, one year I spent 9 months in Sydney, and although I've been living in Cairns, I've been back and forth. Like, it just warranted that my dad was looking after, and it was hard. So I was around the family a bit more. So sorry, and thanks for your patience. But so the day that I chose the numbers, the very first number, and it was kind of like a pattern. I went middle line, top line, bottom line. I went, okay, 22. I straight away went to 22 because it was my parents' anniversary, and I was thinking of them. And I was, really sad. That still made me sad because the family belt was put down, and I found that my sister didn't go into the room with it because she couldn't handle seeing the needle go in. So I'm thinking, if it was me, I would spend time with the dog, So all this was going through my head. And 26, I had an auntie that passed away in suspicious circumstances. So that was the next number that I chose, and it was still an ongoing court case with that. Her handyman basically, rolled up. The circumstances of working in the hospital, I've been a lot around family because I was in the hospital, the sister in the hospital she was in said, oh, I must see someone. And, basically, we think that she was doing something that, she was in her 80s, but somebody, basically done a number on it. So, no, that was the 26th of January. 26th of January. So I went another year, 3 years, actually to be correct, 3 years before the day I bought this ticket. So this is exactly what I did. I went number 22, parents' anniversary, that's my first number. I went number 26. This is sort of without thinking of it, but I was with my auntie, so I was thinking about that. and she passed 3 years before in 2011. And at that time, both my parents were in hospital. Not the day that she passed, but actually on their anniversary in 2011, and I managed and Dad, we got Mum and Dad out of hospital and we went to visit my auntie in the hospital as well. So, yeah. Both of them. Yes, I do. I have the credit card statement showing that she made a purchase. It was a National Bank. Is that newsagent? Yes. Oh, okay, this is the problem. Okay, it's a National Bank card, but it's with GE Finance and it's a Maya card. So, yes, those details will it says National Bank, but it's also with Maya and GE Finance. But that's not the problem. Okay, the strongest bit was probably the strongest bit, and even the forensic accountant said, really, if you can't have the 2 witnesses, that's your best witness. And her name is Jenny Risa Evans. I've still got a phone number on my wall in green texture because I met her at bingo, and look, there's a story behind everything. I had a hunch this day. Look, she doesn't even know of it. Well, look, what Jenny would probably tell the court was, because she's got evidence that she wanted to get that day, she actually thought it was her win, to be quiet. She told me she thought it was her win. Because, okay, what happened was I met her 4 years into it, so in 2018, I went on my birthday to bingo in Cairns. I've never been to bingo in Cairns ever. And I was in an auditorium. Okay, the short version is I had a hunch. I thought, I really stuck. I need to find some witnesses that I remember. Do they still live in Cairns? Okay, I turned around in an auditorium, say 300 people, because it was a big $5,000 thing. I noticed a lady in a crowd of people. I walked up to her. I said, I know this might seem strange, but do you ever buy tickets at DFO? And the very next day her husband emailed me her credit card statement of her, and she thought I was a friend of a friend. You can't make that up, really. You can't even buy that sort of stuff. And my other witness I got, because I started going to overseas sites and I joined the spiritual centre. And I went to meditation one Wednesday morning and I bought the ticket on a Wednesday. So I thought, this is 5.5 years later. So I had Jenny in the 4th year. But a year and a half later, because the forensic accountant said we could get another witness, I put little flyers on every car around the periphery of DFO and around in every person's windscreen. I know it's a bit annoying, but I did it. At 9:20 the next morning, what it said on the little thing was, do you remember buying a ticket in the double dividend draw in 2014? Are you Asian in appearance? And were you in sports gear with a long dark ponytail? At 9:20 the next morning, I got my person. The very only phone call I got was the lady, and she sent me a photo that was Filipino. I said no, and she said I'm Asian. I said, well, I think the lady was Filipino. She said I am Filipino. My name's Erica Flores Canetti. So basically, I got my 2 witnesses. Which is not very strong in court because I've been told you can make that up, but it's not really a story I've feel many people would make up and for it to happen like that. Yeah. Well, yeah, and Jenny Risa Evans is a former Opals player. She represented Australia in the sporting field. So she's not just some I shouldn't say that because she's not just some house out of nowhere. She's a teacher, you know. And for her husband, they had a sporting store. For her husband, I've never known this woman at all. I've just walked up to her in a bingo hall, and the next day, her husband emails me the credit card statement. They did help me a bit, and they're pretty private people, you know. I was a bit scared to ask them things, you know. I held back a lot, but you know, but finally after a couple of days, that you know, I'm thankful when they get back to me because I'm thinking, oh no, they don't want to know about me. But look, Jenny's bought cheap work. Do you want to hear that part? Like, no, okay. Look, can I just quickly tell you about, sorry, I know it's too much. I'll quickly tell you the numbers 22, 26. So you know why I chose it. 3 years before, you know, my auntie passed away, the one that me and mum and dad visited in the hospital. Okay, I went to number 3, but 3 incidentally is my son's birth month of March. And then I went 11, which is my birth month of November. And I had found a bag of tickets with my searching. It was a big plastic bag. I could find that because I don't throw much things away. This is probably a good thing. But, you know, I had a ticket. Out of 3 out of 4 squares and 4 out of 4 squares, what numbers came up? And this is 20 years before. My son's now 27. I would put 3 and 11 in every square. That's 2 of the 6 winning numbers. So, and then number 42, okay, the 42 is my dad's his brother, and you know, so I was pregnant, it was pretty far home, and I had to, there was a problem, and I had an operation plan, so it was on my mind too, you know, all this life, death, all this. No, that was how old I was when I had this operation. I have providence for all this stuff, and I know it seems weird, but the other thing is that I have a brother, and it's been abused by a male member of our family, a cousin, and his age was at that time would be my ticket was 44, and I've just written to my cousin at his work. I'm still onto it, and I've gone out with his mother, his godmother. I wrote to him. I said, you know, you have to apologise. I didn't say what time it is if he works in the council. He has out the letter. I don't know where he is. I get to apologise. You have to try to my mother and his daughter said actually I was saying the story behind that. He found out he had a medical record. He went to the party. He should have had counselling. He hasn't had counselling. So basically, you know, he can hold down a job, but you know, my cousin was life really. So all the numbers I chose, there was a reason behind it. Just that I don't normally do this, and I don't normally remember people that are in the store either. It was just one of them things. Sorry, I'm a bit harsh when I come in. So yes, the main bit of evidence I have is the lady's credit card statement, and actually, you know, the shop ledger, all those things, they need to keep their records for 7 years. If I had legal help, I probably would have gone a bit further. Because I know someone that works in the bank, and they said, yes, we have to keep those records. You know, like Jenny's credit card statement will still be on a bank file back of house somewhere, but for me and her to have access to it, we'd have to pay some very good lawyers, I think, to even get that far. So this is the problem. And, you know, my thing with the Supreme Court is mainly because Lotto really did give me a hard time. And you know, for me to get answers out of them, and they made a lot of mistakes along the way, you know, like when they'd say, I tried too many times, but they kept giving us forms for New South Wales, Queensland, and we met on JP, and they said, oh no, it's the wrong thing, you know, it's just, you know, lots of things didn't connect up right, and then they said, you've tried too many times. Finally, they lost all my paperwork. They invited me to resubmit, or I said to them, why don't I just resubmit? That was halfway through last year, probably, and I did. But they took months to get back to me. Like it should have only taken 6 weeks and it's COVID. They took 4 months to get back to me. Then finally I spoke to someone and said, I'm not happy with this. I said, well, did they say, why don't you write a formal letter? Mate, I did it. They never replied to me. I've asked them for freedom of information stuff. I've got it back from the Justice Department. That's another story. They treated, well, you know what I'm like, I talk too much, but they treated me and my son like, oh, did you enjoy it? This is their verbatim. I've got their notes back. Did you enjoy your time away? Miss you and Kathy are back. There's more to the novel to come. You know, they treated me as a joke. I know it's the way I come across, but you know, that they weren't there to help me or my son at all. Like all I asked was 4 years, well, not 4 years ago, but you know, nearly 3 years ago, did you just check out my witness? You know, at that time you probably could have found out more stuff. You really wanted to see whether, you know, I was at the store with her. You know, her purchase is on the shop ledger just before mine. And the other ladies is just after mine. I can even tell you which register. Me and the lady with the credit card said we're on the same register. So yeah, I don't know much about that Clements guy, but I do know someone that worked with him in a call centre, and he said he used to come in every day and talk about it, and I pretty much was like that this year too. Yeah, because it does, and you know, you think it doesn't bother you, and you don't want it just to be about the money. I did, but it is the money as well. But they can get away with not paying. That's what's happened. You know, there's I don't know. I had 6 years of drafting letters and doing stuff and finding out stuff that you know, like this Justice Department, they're not there for me. Lotto's not really there for me either. You know, they're just a business wanting to sell and make money. Well, I told you in short, you know, this is what's happened. I filed to the lot and you know, they weren't talking to me, they weren't giving me the information that they said I could get, but they didn't even contact me about that. They just said that I was 7 years above at the end of the month. But they did get back to me when I filed in the Supreme Court. And yeah. Oh, okay. I'm a tutor, but I'm not working. I'm, okay, you can put that, yeah. Yeah, that my age now is 59. So when I bought the ticket, I was 52. Because I'm my birthday. It's not that I think the core thing is anything. So what I told you, I didn't even put all that details down in the court. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, that's fine. No, that's fine. Look, I'm happy because do you know the thing is for me, it's very healing. Yeah, well, that's it. And this is the other thing. I'm really grateful to you because you can word it better than I. I mean, you just spent all this time with me, and if I had to listen to someone like me, I'd probably go to sleep. You know what I mean? So. But the thing is, you know, I still feel really strongly about it. It's quite a surreal feeling because you're thinking, I want this thing that I've lost a piece of paper. But you know, there is the case of the London man who won 23.2 million or something. He got it. He got it. Queensland. They changed the laws. Even when I got to the Justice Department level, so um, all you have to do is look up $23.2 million win and in Nunda. But Lotto were after him. They got him, and he lost his ticket. But there was surveillance. There was no surveillance in the store. Look, you know, all this is another story. I tried hard for surveillance. I found out. I've been through ombudsmans and internal reviews, external reviews, and I can tell you, when they investigated my son, the Justice Department, you must get some details right for them to investigate, right? Otherwise, why would they investigate, right? So I know 100% the date's right. I know the time's the afternoon, don't know the exact time. And I know it was a smallish ticket and I made a mistake on a number. So I believe the seventh on it. Well, see, I only had three, the value, right. So four squares on Wednesday is only $2.40. It's pretty cheap, right? So that's all I was endeavouring to buy. But I remember at the time that I bought the ticket, I went over the line and it was really busy. And the girl said to me, and I said to my son, because we're in each other's pockets, can you give me some money? But he hates gambling. So then I said, I'm going to buy something for dinner. So he gave me $10 or $20. And because I made a mistake, I believe the seventh number was added. So that's the other detail of the ticket that fairly certain that a seventh number was added, and that's when I found out it doesn't cost that much. It probably cost about $7 for the ticket in the end. No, it's not. No. But what happens was, it goes into a different category. Like when you buy a standard ticket, it's just how many squares you buy. But you can do. I'm forgetting what they call. No, well, I believe because I went over one of the lines and it was busy, the lady said to me, I'll just put the seventh number in. And because my son gave me some more money for dinner, I just did that and I found out, because I've done this I'm pretty sure this happened this day. Instead of four squares of six numbers, I have maybe 4 or 5 squares, but I have the seventh number in one of the squares. Yeah. So they call it, they actually call that systems. You can call it, it's system 7. Yeah. So that changes the type of the ticket, but I'm not really clear on it. It was just busy. It's the first time that ever happened to me. But since then, I had bought system 7, and sometimes you pick 7 numbers and get nothing. So you pay a little bit extra for that extra number. So yeah. Well, okay, they sent you a generic letter back saying your repeated attempts to change the time, date, and type of ticket, and that's when it got to me because I have never changed. I have never changed from the fact that it was later in the afternoon or the date of the 22nd. I never changed that. But the thing is, they give you 3 goes, and it's almost like you have to guess because who looks at their clock when they buy a ticket? So if I said 3:23 in the afternoon, you get a 10 to 15 minute time frame. The next time I try is instead of 3:20 to 3:40, I try 3:40 to 4 o'clock. So they give you 3 goes at it. But with me, and I'm a bit scatty, but they also made mistakes too. You have to get it signed by JP, and because I was from Queensland to New South Wales, sometimes they'd send the paperwork, or they still kept thinking I was in New South Wales and I was in Queensland. I told them repeated times I'm in Queensland. If I'm in New South Wales, they send me the paperwork for Queensland. So I didn't really look at it. I got it signed by JP. They say it's the wrong thing. You got to do it again. So it was partly on them that the many times happened. And in the end, so they gave me 3 goes. They gave my son 3 goes. We both had a chance to do civil action, or the next step actually was to apply to the Justice Department to see if they would push it through. And with me and my son, we both were accepted by the Justice Department, but really treated like a joke. Yeah. So yeah, liquor and gaming. Yeah. Yeah. And to get a straight answer out of their investigators, like, the lady in the office, whoever it was really nice because she said all the paperwork back, all the freedom of information stuff. I didn't have to try hard to get that. And that's how I found out how much of a joke they treated us. And the other thing was, I got investigated and I almost had to beg my son. My son wanted nothing to do with it, but he was in the store with me. So I said, son, I'll have to use you as well because it's our ticket. You're in the store. I have to try. What would you try to? So, well, most people will, I think. So, anyway, when my son was getting investigated, uh, they had about the witnesses and they had Jenny Risa Evans witness, but instead of contacting her, they flagged it. And instead of investigating my son, what they did on my son's investigation, I know it's government money, we weren't paying for it, but if you're going to investigate. What they wrote was, more to the novel and all this. This is the secretary to the investigator, I think. But what they did was they said, Mother was investigated in 2014. Can we just use her points? I don't. That's not exactly. They didn't even investigate my son, but they claimed to. And when we asked them about the witnesses, that took a month to get an answer out of them. My son was with me in hands. I said, Nisha, you have to ask them. I really need to know, did they contact the witnesses? Because I really believe if they contact the witnesses, that there's some proof there. And the answer was, and the phone kept coming out, my son was getting hurt, he's still had PTSD. I said, son, get the answer from it. And the Justice Department guy goes, tell your mum that we're not here to prove the lotto case. We're only here to check that lotto has done the right thing. And no, the witnesses were not contacted. Yeah. So that's not justice to me. Oh, okay. I'm in one of two places. My sister lives in 18th Avenue in Bluegreen. I'm actually with my dad in a street called Valley Street, and it's not quite Manly, it's Queensland, it's northern end. And it's off Oliver Road. You can't get off. You know how streets go up in that area. Okay, it's 28A, so there's 28 up the top and we're down the driveway. Oh, it's a house. It's a house, yeah. No, there's no gate. There's just two houses and there's a dual driveway and you see a white car down the bottom. Yeah. Oh, tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be here or another house. It's 34 KEN Avenue, Queenscliff, which is just a street away, really. Yeah, no, that's. Hey, listen, thanks for your patience. I know. The main thing that's kept me going is me seeing where things are meant to. I thought they'd be done, and I'm thinking I'm always feel like I've been lied to or not given an. When you don't give someone an answer and they're trying for a month, and it took me 18 months to find out there was no surveillance, and I only found that out through an ombudsman. So they didn't like me because a lot of mistakes were made, and even though I'm scatty, I'm quite pedantic as well, and I got told, well, get those things corrected. So they probably didn't like it that I kept at him, and they're thinking, oh, they probably thought she hasn't got enough proof, and that's what the ombudsman said to me. But this was years ago, and I couldn't get him to help me last year. The ombudsman lady rang me up and she said, Kathy, why did you choose number 22? And I told her, and she said, Kathy, it's not, and this is because the justice had an internal and an external review because I wasn't happy. And in the ombudsman, she said, it's not that we don't believe you, there's just not enough proof. So, but that was years ago. Look, I know, but do you know what? But between us, Vanda, like I wouldn't have put myself in a position. I'm not a lunatic, although people might think so. I wouldn't have fought for it. It's more I'm finding to be listened to as well. You know, I'm thinking I understand it's a big corporation and they don't have to listen. I understand why things are, but I'm angry, and it could happen to other people too, like me, because people always lose things. Like it's more that some of the things that weren't told to me, or some of the lies that were told to me, and when I start reading that, you know, me and my son are like a novel, and we don't deserve to be investigated. We have witnesses with credit card statement, but you know they don't want to pay it out. Otherwise, they would have at least looked at it. Like, you liken it to a murder, but I got told you can't because it's a different thing. But if it was a murder and you had, evidence of someone purchasing before the person that murdered, like that would come into play. Yeah. Yes, I do, and I do buy them online, and I do buy them on the day, and I still buy small tickets, and I still use the same numbers as the numbers that I won on. Well, look, it's purely logistics, if I can get to a store or not. It's much handier. Oh, no, I know this is crazy, but yes, if I've only got a bit of cash, I'll still pay in cash. It hasn't really stopped me, no. I know it's crazy. I felt like I shouldn't. People say I wouldn't buy a ticket if it was me, but like I mean, it's just one of those things. It's look, luck struck me, but luck's also. I also was unlucky. I just don't know how. Look, I'll be my biggest happiness that you contact me probably, but my other happiness would be if the supposedly nice judge or magistrate on the 3rd of January or February goes, oh look, it sounds like she's been given a bit of a runaround. Maybe we will get the golden casket just to provide the time, date, and type of ticket. That's all she wants. If I got that, that's validation to me. That's making me feel that I've got some integrity, not to be laughed at by Justice Department or not listened to with witnesses that, I haven't made them up. So, yeah. 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 Oh wow! Well, see and you might have just had one little detail wrong, because I don't think you would have fought for it. Look, I don't know that in the case it is. I believe that he got off a bit too late. That's what I thought. But I've been trying to find this since 2004. It's not just it's not going out of my way. It's not taking a lot of time. And there's things of, that's the ironic thing. It can get to the point where I don't get any justice happening. I've got to report, and then, in a few weeks' time, under a chin or something, I'm like, you need stuff, and it's having paperwork, and I think there are a lot of stuff, and I've had this problem for a long time. It's got worse things. It's very hard to get even pieces of paper, receipts that are dated. I've been keeping them now, and I've been, I've purchased the black light, and I've had to do all that sort of stuff. And it really didn't happen. I wouldn't bother. If I had something to do, I'll start chatting things out and get on with the life. came forward and you're always considered. I'm so grateful, Amanda. Yeah. And I know you're just about signing off. Then, you know, when I got this solicitor last year, this young bloke said to me, "Oh, I'll take it off." And he had my paperwork, some paperwork on the Friday. He happened to know the friend because his accountant done some work for his car. And on the Friday, one of my witnesses already contacted me and said, obviously I asked and stuff. But this is the thing, when push comes to shove, she backed down. She said she remembered me in the store. And when he questioned that, because he was basically telling me what happens when we go to court, she said, oh, she buys tickets in the store, but she didn't remember me that day. Whereas the friend didn't sound to me. I said, I don't remember that. I never knew the lady from the bar, so the friend said, that's okay, she remembers you, it's fine. So anyway, I had a solicitor for the weekend. So on the Tuesday, I went into his, big round table, it's a young guy. And, I was just grateful someone was, trying to help me out and, I couldn't afford it. And then he sat me down and he said, oh, he brings to me this evidence paper. So, and he said, yeah, and he gave me something, he must have got off the internet, quite a few pages. And he said, yes, I know that, but what about the guy who won the Queensland that won the 23 million and got it? Okay. Do you know that in my I went to Nunda and I ended up finding a lady that's friends with the wife. And she was giving me, she works in a football club in Nunda. I can't remember the name of it, but I joined it. And her, I don't know, but he was a guy that lived in Nunda, and he ended up buying like a caravan park on the Sunshine Coast. So and his name is written somewhere. I'm pretty sure his name's written somewhere. But okay, so this girl that I met in the club, I told her, she was working at the TAB there. She said, her name's Jackie. She said, yeah, I know him. Do you want me to give you his phone number? Being Queenslanders. I'm thinking, oh, it's a bit strange, and I thought, oh no, I'll stick to my. I said no, because that's what I'm used to. But I wish now I'd said, yeah, give me his number. Yeah. So the next time I went there was another time that my son was now living in Sydney. We came up to Brisbane, and I came from here to Brisbane. Because I was trying to look about the his case as well. So I saw him off at the airport when he left for Sydney, and I went to the Nunda football club. I'm trying to remember the name, but it's a little football club. Okay, so the logo's in black and that. So, and the girl's name's Jackie. This next time I went there, it was too early, so I sat outside the football club. And when they'd opened, one of the gardeners, I think, I said, what time you open? He must have told her I was there. When I seen him the next time, because she had a bit of weight on her, only, a couple of months before. When I seen her the next time, when she was on crack or something, she's still working there. But this is just my observation, I could be wrong, but she definitely was on some amphetamine, I think. Yeah. And I said, oh, hi, and she said, look, if Lotto can't help you, I can't help you. And that was like final. And I had a thing to give to her, and I said, oh, do you know the guy that won this old lady did? And she said, yeah, my son knows him. And I even left flyers all around Nunda, the day that I went there. I've got bags of evidence, but I don't know how, in a corner, probably not going to stack up. But I did a lot of searching, and this is before I had all this. Well, at the time, okay, how she, because, you met this other guy with me, it's, you know, it's not the end of, it's not the worst thing in life to lose a child, you know. But, you know, to me, the health is more important. But in terms of losing something and not knowing anyone that can talk to, like an alcoholic, when he wants to not drink anymore, they go to a place where, you know, they mix with people that were alcoholics and understand. I'm willing to know what process that he went through because I read about it on the internet. And yeah, and Jackie, yeah, and Jack, and you know, I was just sort of putting my head down and going, yeah, because, you know, I never really heard of it before. I probably heard a bit about that, heard of this guy, but I never took it that serious. And yeah, that girl Jackie, when she was, you know, all piggered and, you know, got, you know, nasty with me all this, she said to me that I can tell you that he did go through a lie detector, and I kept sort of dreaming, I hope someone puts me in a lie detector. I really wanted to go on a lie detector because I know, I even went through a period where I thought, oh, maybe it wasn't my ticket, but because I picked the numbers that long like that, it could have been no one else, and no one else has really got, even the Justice Department got me 6 months into it, because they got me 6 months into it, I contacted Lotto about a week after it happened. They said to me, oh, look, good luck, no one else has got this far, that was in 2014. And I did share my details with some other punters because I go to the casino. I am a bit of a gambler. And, you know, this Chinese lady said, can you write the numbers down for me? And I'm sure a lot of people could have even claimed on the back of what I told them. Anyone can look it up. You know how, I'll tell you how I found out, and I might never have known this. All right. Okay. Well, how I found out was, you know how I said we moved into this home? Okay. Apparently, the day after the draw, the lotto must have contacted the store, and there was a photo of the store and the numbers. Okay, so I'm in my room. I'm in my room. But I just think they always had the numbers. But when I'm in my room, anyone can look them up. Oh, right, that was just right. Okay, so, oh, look, oh, no, but this was a photo of the shopkeeper, and they're saying, okay, so this was a very mixed day, I believe, right? But about a week later, I had a newspaper in my bedroom in the new unit in Cairns that we just moved into, and the newspaper flipped open, and I think it was a newspaper I got from McDonald's or somewhere. I didn't even buy it, annoying. But it flipped open, and then I go, oh, there's Mr. Kent's. I go, oh, they're my numbers. And that's when I realised, and do you know, I had that ticket in my car, I had it in my car, and so it was bought on the 22nd, it was on the floor of my car, that's how I keep things really bad. But on the 26th was Australia Day, and my son wanted to go to a party, and I was really worried about it because, I mean, he'd spent weeks in intensive care in November, and this is January the next year, not that much more after. He's still having procedures done. He's got really bad PTSD. He could shout me from one room and really knock me down in the next room. He was really quite bad. So anyway, he was wanting to go to a party. So I was like, okay, I'll take him to a party. We were living in, yeah, that's right. We did. Okay, so I take him to the party. No, I didn't get to. Okay, the ticket was in the car, but I went to this party a few times, and at the time, the 26th of January 2014, it became sort of pre-cyclonic weather. So I went to this party, and finally I went 3 times, and it was raining. So I just wanted my son to come home. I was really worried about him because I thought he might even get himself. You know, that's so I thought, and this party was in the direct line of where this newsagent shopping centre was. It was across the road, Mulgrave Road. Okay, so so I went to this party. My son finally told me I've got a bird for the night, you know, girl. So I just said, well, good luck. But in the times that I went to the party, I thought, okay, him and his friends, they're young men, they're drinking. And yeah, and I was worried about it. So I did take the ticket out of the door of the car and put it in the side console of the door. And my son did not come home. So this is already the 26th. I've had the ticket for 4 days. I didn't know one. So it's in the side door, and then I remember putting it in a red bucket in my garage, and I went to bed. The next day, my son comes home with his friend's mother, dropped him off, and he just had to sleep it off. And it was a public holiday in Cairns. It was a Monday, because the Australia was Sunday. I went to the casino, and that ticket dropped out of my. I kept dropping this ticket. This is the other thing. It dropped on the console of Coles when I went up to the newsagent, and it dropped out of my bag twice at the casino. And this old couple came up to me and they gave me some scratchies for a free drink because they have promotion scratchies on different days. And I thought, well, hang on, when I realised I didn't have a ticket, I thought at the time when I was looking back that I dropped the ticket a third time and they might have collected it when they did scratchies. So in my mind, I believe that I got the ticket, but then I also recall putting it in a folder in the garage. Now, I did find over the years in my garage some things that were old tickets stuck on things, because in the rain they get stuck and they end up becoming like tissue paper. So, okay, so my son went to he's still finishing off his social work now. He's changed his career at New South Wales Uni and he's working. So I went one day to the uni with him and I was researching about chemical engineers, because I had this twice I found tickets stuck on backs of magazines, but they were really tough. And I thought I found the ticket. So I went to see this chemical engineer, took me a couple of days to find him, through the phone, and finally I'll get in his office and he said, yeah, I should be able to separate that. I went back to Cairns, I got a package from him, and in the package, it's just like, you couldn't read any numbers or anything. It was like someone had chewed up tissue paper and shot it. So, I've done a lot of stuff, like even someone told me their story, because sometimes they do it now, they do, but I don't think it's one at the moment still. Someone told the story on Current Affair. So I went and looked up a lot of the story, and underneath I wrote, yes, that was me.
You didn't make that cat, that's the mobile phone.
Yes, that's my dad's mobile phone. So Current Affair contacted me, but basically they said to me, I said, yes, I'd like to do it. They said, well, we can't do anything at the moment, because I thought they might go there. Oh, but let us know, and even the Cairns newspapers on this too. Let us know when you get the win, and then we'll do a story on it. That's not when you need the help. Who's going to tell people? So, I've been through a lot with this last ticket. Yeah, I forgot that. I wasn't like that. Oh, look, I'll have his name. I can go through everything. He was a chemical engineer. He was the head of the department. So yeah, he was meant to be able to, in his job, they're meant to be able to separate them, Yeah. So I thought that was, forensically, if I found the ticket and I can't get it off, I need someone to help me. But what came back was tissue paper. So if it wasn't ticket, no one can help me then, It's like someone's died and you've got their action that you've got to try and bring it back. Yeah. Oh, I'm really sorry. Hey, Brenda, I know that you probably believe me, and I know about that. It really did happen, and it probably happened to that Clement slide too. And, yeah. I hope that I get the what that. I hope I get the data matching. That's what I want. And okay, I said your friend. My sister wants to. Was Rastafarian. She wants to make a movie. I told all my nephews they're going to get car each, and everyone's sort of not sure what to believe, but. Of course, I'll help everyone. I thought to buy a family home so if anything happens in the future, no one sells it. You point to, I've thought of all these things. I even said to my friend in Cannes, she's got 8 children, but they're all grown up. She's got 10 grandchildren. She's a beautiful lady. I said, okay, maybe well. Yeah. Like, to be quite honest, I can live without money. I don't have much. I mean, I've been living on miso soup and noodles because I have no money until today because I'm getting, living on government money, but I don't really need it. Maybe that's why I can get it. I don't know, but I want to get it, and I want to give to Kidney Foundation. I want to give to Save the Children. Things like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And if that happens, I'll share with you. Yeah, no, honestly, I'm like that. I probably, that was down the money, so I'd be like, yeah. So, my family knew the house is worth that much, but they don't have a lot of money. And I've just been used to being, I'm okay, I live around Kent. If I come here, I'll just fly on a holiday. Thank you. Thank you. I hope, I'm going to just hope that justice, I get what that guy gets, and I'll be happy with that. And if my things match, I'm going to say, hang on, if they match up, I need to pay me. Yeah. Anyway, see you. Thank you. Have a nice lunch. Bye. Okay. Yeah. Here, Dad. Sorry.
I hope so. They won't cut me out.
Sorry, Dad.
So many minutes.
Sorry.
Months, and then it cuts out. So I probably won't use it.
Dad, I'll pay for it.
You don't need to pay for it. You just cut it out.